institution, but polarized, very much polarized compared to 1994. Because 2 decades ago, it was the nature of the society, political circumstances. Just after the military government, rather they were learning how to act to each other. But now, supposedly, after 2 decades and the influence of European Union, and the image was, until recently, very bright for future in terms of democracy, but leadership, even the government party, explicitly, even the leadership explicitly underlines that we advocate polarization. This is our strategy, you know. In fact, it is not specific to Turkey. In some of the rising, you know, similar tendencies in Europe, polarization in Poland, in Hungary, even in Slovak Republic. There are such tendencies. The government parties trying to polarize instead of, you know, because if you divide the society into 2 camps, first, of course, you keep your own supporters solidified, and second, suppress the other sectors, and then make a silence. So, in fact, the recent astrological, you know, the explanation for the next year was that Turkey is under the influence of Neptune. So, and Turkey is in a deep sleep until 2030. So if we take astrology as an important empirical evidence, so this is a tendency.
How long is the period of being
2030. Yeah, very short.
So less than 20.
Yeah, yes. Thank you. If you survive. Anyway, in those 2 settings, different settings, the result, only the polarization there, but degree of difference. In 1994, yes, we had the polarization, but it was supported by fragmentation. That's why we had the polarization. But today, less fragmented, and also almost all political parties, except for pro-Kurdish party. So most of the major political parties consider almost similar things, especially on immunities, lifting the immunities. So even the Social Democrats agreed, okay, you know, they were like Don Quixote type of, you know, because perhaps some of you familiar with Turkish context, you know, we also, ideally, against the full immunity. But in Turkish context, you know, I think deputies needed an immunity. Because now, you know, we observe, of course, the government. The idea is that those pro-Kurdish deputies related to terrorist activities. That's why so they put into jail. So final conclusion is that there was no change, in fact, in terms of decisional autonomy of the Grand National Assembly. In 1994, what was striking conclusion? Although 2 coalition parties on the right and left of the center came together and introduced a democratization package, but in the plenary session, one of the biggest coalition partners, center of the right, True Path Party, deputies, some of them at least, joined with the we call them hawkist, nationalist deputies, and they changed the package. This time, of course, especially on the internal security code, we observe very physical confrontation and some knockout type of, you know, in the committee stage, some of the deputies from government party and opposition parties, you know, they physically confronted. It was a very tragic situation, but in the end, especially the law enforcement authorities, namely police and others, given greater, the freedom in terms of putting someone into custody more than 48 hours type of things without any, the lawyer support type of things. Even today, there are some people in custody, they didn't meet even their families after 5 days, a week, or no lawyer type. The result is that I think the Turkish Grand National Assembly, I don't know, but we will, of course, list some of the factors leading to this type of conclusion, that Parliament did not develop, failed to develop a kind of institutional learning from the democratization process during the 2 decades. Thank you for your patience.